All right, guys, since I've been talking about flags today, I figured that I might as well do my last story of the day with this story that indicates maybe the military isn't as woke as we thought. Now, don't get me wrong, they still pretty woke. They're overly woke, way too woke, but maybe there's some hope. I don't know. Maybe there's some hope. As the Department of Defense has come out and basically said that they're not going to fly the pride flag. Now, again, this comes as, there was some controversy about pride flags and the BLM flag being flown at U.S. embassies around the world, basically being flown on government property to celebrate the anniversary of George Floyd's death. Okay, and now there are conversations about the pride flag. Okay, so let's read here. On Friday, the Defense Department indicated that they don't share Secretary of State Anthony Blinken's perspective on flying the LGBTQ pride flag, saying the Defense Department will not allow the flag to be flown as installations to celebrate Pride Month. Defense Department statement, John Kirby stated, after some careful consideration, the department will maintain the existing policy regarding the display at military bases. There won't be an exception made for the pride flag. This in no way reflects any lack of respect or admiration for the LGBTQ plus community. This was really more about the potential for other challenges that could arise from that exception, Fox News reported. In April, Foreign Policy noted, Secretary of State Anthony Blinken has issued a blank authorization for U.S. Diplomatic outposts around the world to fly the pride flag on the same flagpole as the U.S. flag at their embassy or consulate, showcasing support for LGBTQ rights. The directive marks a departure from how the Trump administration handled the matter, while the State Department was run by former Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. In a confidential cable reviewed by Foreign Policy and sent to diplomatic posts around the world, Blinken gave authority for diplomats to fly the pride flag before May 17th, which marks the International Day Against Homophobia, Transphobia, and Biphobia, as well as June, which is in the United States and many other countries is Pride Month. On May 25th, Foreign Policy reported that Blinken gave U.S. embassies permission to fly the Black Lives Matter flag. All right, so essentially here, Biden's Secretary of State is giving a authorization to the military, right, in U.S. diplomatic outposts, that, hey, you can fly the pride flag and the BLM flag, right, as a show of wokeness. And the Defense Department / Pentagon is saying no, right? Like, we're not going to do that. And the reason that they gave is that there could possibly be other challenges that arrive from this exception. And that reasoning is correct. Because again, I try to tell people, man, like, if you set the precedent that you can fly these flags, okay, on government property, right, on the same flagpole as the U.S. flag as Old Glory, then you're setting the precedent that you can fly other flags, right, for other political groups, okay? The federal government should not be in the business of supporting any type of political groups or their symbolism, okay? They shouldn't be doing that. The government has to remain neutral to these things. That includes BLM, that includes Pride, that includes any group that's on the right, any flag that's associated with a right-wing movement. The U.S. government should not be flying those flags on federal property. I don't understand what's so controversial about that. But like I said, I mean, look, it's probably not controversial. What's really making it controversial is the fact that Biden is doing it in the first place. Because if they did not do it at all, would people really make a big deal out of it? Would people really notice? Like, no, they wouldn't. They're doing it as a show in the first place. And that's what causes people to get upset. And then when people get upset, they turn around and say, oh, look at the right-wing bigots that don't want to show support for LGBTQ or Black Lives Matter. When it's like, no, that's not actually the case. It's that no flag should be flown with the American flag, right? No other flag should be on federal property. Shouldn't happen, right? The only flags that should be on military or federal property, it should be the U.S. flag or any flag associated with a state government, okay, or a military flag, like an official military flag. Those are the only flags that should be flown. That's it. That's it. And this is not hard. Also, on top of that, for somebody that ran their campaign on unity and wanted to unify with the country, every time you look, they're always trying to divide us on something, right? What is more unifying than the American flag? What is more unifying than having one flag that stands tall with no other flags on the pole that shows that we are all Americans? That's the most unifying symbol that you can have. What's not unifying is when you have the American flag and other flags being flown on the pole for left-wing political groups. That's not unifying. That's not unifying at all. Matter of fact, that's divisive. And every time you look, Biden is trying to cause more division in this country. What's wrong with just having Old Glory there? What's wrong with having one flag that unites everybody to say we're all Americans? But apparently that's offensive to people. The American flag is offensive to people. Being united is offensive to people. These are the same people that claim they're trying to fight racism and they're fighting for equal rights. But apparently they don't want to share a flag with everybody else. They got to have their own special flag. They got to have their own thing. And don't get me wrong. If you want to fly your own little flag at your own house, that's cool. That's fine. I have no issues with that. Fly whatever you want. Let it fly. But just not on state property. Not on federal government property. And like I said, man, Biden, in my opinion, his administration pushing for something like this when it's really unnecessary. Nobody asked him to do it. Again, it's just another example of him low-key trying to cause division. And I'm glad that the Pentagon/Defense Department stepped up to overrule this and say, hey, nah, we're not participating in this little political game. So let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. Most importantly, share a Black conservative perspective. Peace.